Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, love him or hate him. Your choices can't be more clear. Someone who hates you and hates America, or somebody who, in at least
Cat,
theory,
cat
loves
got
you
your
and
tongue?
loves America.
Cat got your tongue?
No, I just, I don't know Donald Trump. Here's the thing, is we can say all we want about these people. We don't know them. We don't know them personally. Donald Trump could be the biggest, scummiest a-hole that's ever existed, and I wouldn't know because I have no idea. But at least he's not out there insulting me, calling me names, cussing me out, trying to take my freedom, telling me that I'm stupid. You know what I mean? Like, it's
See,
so
I have
clear.
I have a much simpler perspective. Right.
Okay,
I
I want to
understand.
hear this.
I understand the cult of personality, meaning that we tend to vote for people we like, and we tend to vote against people we don't like. And Donald Trump, because he is sort of a braggadocio from Queens. It's sort of an archetype from Queens. But
Yeah.
I have a much simpler question for people. When they say they don't like Donald Trump, my response is, tell me a single policy in the 4 years that Trump was president, other than the mean tweets, which you guys no longer have. Tell me one single policy that Trump put into place that you didn't agree with. And everyone changes the subject because either they don't know any policies one way or the other.
Yes.
Depending on who you're talking to, or if they do know the policies, they can't. I don't like that he called the judge Mexican. Well, that's not a policy, folks.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's
The border was safer. The economy was better. There was the pipe. We were energy self-sufficient, for God's sakes.
yeah.
Right. What policy? Name a policy.
They can't. The reason why most people can't name a policy is because they don't bother to actually take the time to do the research themselves. They simply hear the headlines. They hear
the talking points.
The talking points.
Yeah, the talking points.
And that's what they go by. And this is my question, okay? And I want to be really clear. Don't trust me. Anybody, any of our viewers, any of our listeners
Good.
on the radio.
Does that mean I don't have to trust you?
You don't. You shouldn't. You definitely should not. I'm a human being and I am capable of flaws. I am selfish and self-interested, and that's the truth. I'm also biased. I am prejudiced against, people who want to take my freedom away. I'm sure somebody's going to clip that.
Wait, are you racist? Are you racist? If you're prejudiced, you must be racist.
I am, because I'm white. Remember, my skin color apparently means that I hate it doesn't matter that I'm married to a black man. It doesn't matter that half my family's Mexican.
And let's not forget the French Canadian side. Those are the real,
Oh, bro, French Canadians. Are you kidding? First of all, French people, but then French Canadians, we are all a bunch of self-righteous people. And anybody who tells you anything different is lying. Have you been to Quebec? It's a very silly place, okay?
Frankly, I was in Quebec this weekend. So, yes, I have been to Quebec. Tabarnak, c'est mon collègue, hein? So,
that was good. I can't do that.
Did you like that? I can roll my R's. But look, I want to come back to, I know it's a broker. I want to come back to the various ways that freedom is under threat, right? Or freedom is under assault, right? Because let's talk about what's going on over in Israel, right? Because there are only two, real countries where that it's led, we call it a democracy, whether it's a constitutional republic. In the Middle East, there's one democracy, and that's Israel. And you heard what Chuck Schumer said. Senator Schumer basically came out and called for the overthrow of a friendly government who's at war. And let's be honest, what happened on October 7th, everyone says is a terrorist attack, right? 1,200 dead, thousands of missiles, cyber attack was an offensive. It was a declaration of war. It wasn't a terrorist attack, really. It was another front in a war, right? Israel is defending itself against someone who is avowed to wipe them off the earth, who now, by the way, because they're losing, want a ceasefire. So you have the highest ranking member, government official, Jewish government official, calling for the overthrow of a friendly government. Tell me how freedom is not under assault there.
I mean, this is one of those times where I'm like,
What am I
is he
missing?
really Jewish? Is he really Jewish though? I mean, I understand that
Oh,
there's the
he is.
difference between that
No, no,
there's
no. You
ethnically
can't go.
Jewish
You
and
can't
then
go there.
there's,
He is. Look, look.
I
There have
mean,
been
but
many
here's
aspects
the
over the
deal.
years that Schumer has been a friend to Israel and the Jewish community in America. So
Then what
you can't
happened?
throw that out there. But well, do you not know? Come on. This is
Money?
really no power. This is there is now with there is this um large section of the Democratic Party that is
Mhm.
anti-Semitic. Let's call
Right.
it the Hamas vote. Let's call it the squad vote. Let's call it
Yeah.
whatever,
AOC,
whether
Ilhan
it's
Omar. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in Michigan and a few other places around the country, who, if they don't get those votes, they're going to lose in November. So they are pandering for votes by sacrificing not only U.S. interests, but Israel's security by calling for the overthrow of a friendly government and the only government that's a democracy in the Middle East, which, by the way, it's the only government, if there is one or two liberals listening to the show, if you are gay or you're LGBTQ or rainbow
Mhm.
this or social justice that, there's only one country in the Middle East where you're not dead on arrival, literally, right?
Yep. And
I mean,
that's
that, you,
Israel.
that whole, queers for Palestine.
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
So
would you
stupid.
please, I mean, go to Iran or go to, I don't know, Saudi Arabia. Try the queers for Palestine in Saudi Arabia.
You know what
And
group
I
I
forget
want to
the,
join?
uh-oh.
Misogynists for Women. How about that? I want to join the misogynist, woman hating
Wait a minute.
club.
Are you identifying as a man? Because I thought only men can be
No,
misogynist.
wait. Wait? Am I doing this backwards? Like, why would you be advocating for a group that hates you? That doesn't think that would kill you if they had the opportunity? Why would you? See, this is what gets me so confused. Is you can have political beliefs or whatever, but when you're supporting an organization who literally thinks that you should not exist anymore.
Wait a minute. So, and I'm trying to remember whether it was a Hezbollah leader or it was a Hamas leader, just came out and said, the reason that Hamas is losing the war is because because of their association with groups like Queers for Palestine. And he got very graphic about, well, you have these guys who are putting their private parts in other, and he got really graphic and he said that the reason Allah is making them lose in Hamas is because of Queers for Palestine. I just sit there and you roll your eyes and go, I mean, but look, there's a reason I think that they dumb down American education. And I don't think there's this guy behind the curtain like the Wizard of Oz who's pulling all the levers. I think it's a very decentralized effect that once it gains critical mass and you start winning, the New York Attorney General, James and mayors across the country and school boards across the country, and that bottom up approach, it takes on a life of its own. But part of it means is two things. You have to keep America divided, black from white, rich from poor, men from women. You have to keep us divided to make that work. And you have to keep us sort of in the dark or ignorant, and then this whole takeover of academia, whole takeover of culture, and I don't even want to talk about the Academy, the Oscars, the Academy Awards, which I didn't watch, but I read about it. It's offensive as hell to me.
Yeah.
But that's this is about power, right? So, but understand the theme for this show is democracy is under assault, right? Or freedom is under assault. Democracy is under siege, right? So you look at what's going on in the Middle East, right? You look at all of this. And by the way, now you have Hamas, who now is desperate for a ceasefire, permanent ceasefire. So, but do you know, Ericka, we still have hostages?
Yes.
Did you?
Yeah. Yes.
Why doesn't anybody else know that? I mean, no one gives a shit about the hostages.
No,
right?
And that's what
other than pawns. So what Hamas has now come out to said to Netanyahu, and by the way, the whole Schumer thing is backfired. So good.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it should.
There's a unity government. This is about Israel's survival. But there are U.S. hostages.
That's right.
And the U.S. government doesn't care other than how does it affect the vote out of Dearborn.
That's right. They want to make sure that they protect two usually blue states.
We have Americans that are hostages, folks. It's unacceptable. Right. Americans are hostages. The other side needs to die, right? Launch the missiles, do what Bush did, do what Trump did, right? Do what Reagan did, right?
Yeah.
You take them out, until the Americans come home.
Nowhere else in the world could the United States be having a conflict where they're holding American hostages and you have government officials going out there saying things like, oh, we should have a ceasefire. Don't go in and save our people. Don't kill the terrorists. That would never happen anywhere else except Israel. And have you heard, Robert? Have you heard now the new this is a conspiracy on the other side, right? The new theory about why the United States wants to ban TikTok. Have you heard it? It's the Jews. Okay, the Jews want TikTok banned.
Excuse me. Are we pulling out this old trope with like the hook-nosed guys again and the yarmulkes? So okay. So what did we Jews do now?
Okay, so it's because TikTok is promoting pro-Hamas and anti-Israel videos. That's why the ban is now coming up again in the federal in Congress.
Whoa, back up. Okay. Yeah. So over Christmas and New Year's, I was in Europe for, in Paris and in Rome, vacationing and trying to de-stress from all the stuff we do here, right?
Right.
I got sick one day. I wasn't feeling well. So I stayed in one day. And basically, since I'm a news junkie, I watch 24/7 news in my hotel room.
Uh-huh.
Now, remember, this was within like 60 to 75 days of the Hamas launching the war against Israel.
Okay.
I watched CNN. I watched Al Jazeera. I watched the BBC. I kept flipping channels. There was not a single news story that was pro-Israel. It was all pro-Hamas. Right. And so this whole notion that domestically, people don't understand how isolated Israel is in the world because of whether it's fear of the Muslim community, whether it's, again, Israel is an aggressor. They are an occupier. We went back to the whole Obama thing that, they are, we're occupiers and we're colonial. We're a colonial power, no different than what happened in South Africa, years ago. They're an occupying power, which is all total crap. But if you look around the world, folks, and when you travel, I defy you, turn on a news show and find an article anywhere around the world that is not anti-American and or anti-Israel. So Jews that want to ban TikTok because it's pro-Muslim or pro-Palestinian?
Yeah. Yep. So this is the same. Hold on. This is what's funny about it. The same government officials apparently that have come out and said, we need to have a ceasefire and Israel's terrible. Apparently those same people are also on board with banning an app that is anti-Israel. Come on, you guys.
Look. I'm for banning TikTok because I don't want you. I don't want you harvesting my information. Right. I don't know about you, but I use Tor browser. I actually use another browser, which I can't say on the air, which actually is even more secure than that.
But that's
right. And I use a VPN.
Is the government going to ban everything that harvests our data? That's the thing. Okay. See, I get it. Like TikTok, CCP, bad. Okay. We're going to agree with that. But what about Google? Again, we've been talking about Google. They harvest your data. They read your emails. That's how, in case you guys don't understand, in Google, if you go to search for something and you type in a search term that was in an email or on your calendar, the app is reading your data to look for that.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, that's why when you search for something, I'm searching for, a gun holster. All of a sudden I see all these ads for gun holsters. Right. Or so, by the way, do you have like Alexa or any of that stuff in your house?
Oh God, no.
Because I have friends who do. That gives me the willies. Right. You'll sit there and the thing is listening 24/7. And again, you don't want to be paranoid and you sit there. Nah, this is like a science fiction movie, but it really.
Yeah. Anyways, except for the story last year, there was a guy who had, what was it? An Alexa or something like that. He had a smart home. Okay. And some Amazon driver came up, nobody was home. Amazon rang the doorbell, thought they heard somebody insult them, reported it. And then that guy's house got shut down by the smartphone or the smart home company. The dude couldn't even access his own house because somebody made a false report that he had said some racial slur through his Ring doorbell.
We're all racist now. That's okay.
Anyway, okay, what are we getting back to? What are we getting back to?
Well, look, it's still, let's end this where we began, which is pretty simple, which is democracy is under assault. Even though we're not a democracy, we're a constitutional republic until I'm blue in the face. Freedom is under assault. Democracy is under siege. But it's not, it's sort of like you fake right to go left, or that would be my right, fake right to go left. It is under siege, folks. You just got to know where to look for it. It is not Donald Trump. And look, like I said, I am not someone who, the sun rises and sets over Donald Trump. I hope he gets reelected. I hope he's a good leader. He's a good leader. Look, I was a big George Bush guy back in 2000 and 2004, did some work, and ran some stuff for the campaign. Yeah. No president's perfect. There are things, you look back on what, 9/11, which was a horrible act. The Patriot Act, which was a knee-jerk reaction, is now what's being used against us. So at the time, like everybody else, I was for it. Now I'm against it. I feel like John Kerry. Well, I was for it before I was against it, which most of you guys are too young to remember that. But in any event, I digress. There are presidents. All presidents make mistakes. Right. One thing I will say for President George W. Bush is here was a man who, notwithstanding any decision he made, he always tried to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. Honorable man, good man. Right. I can't say the same about the current office holder. Right. Because it's not the same. Right. Donald Trump, if he gets elected, I think will try to always do the right thing. Some will, some won't be. But I would vote for my dog over Joe Biden at this point, because he would do a better job. Literally. And I just think that at this point there is such an agenda, and that's the real term. This whole thing where they're telling people freedom is under assault, democracy is under siege, and they keep hammering it because the fear factor is going to play somewhere in the middle. And if they cannot gin up that fear by using terms like bloodbath, oh, Trump's going to have a bloodbath. Give me a break, right? Yeah. And any American who is swayed by that, probably, you're supposed to be an informed electorate. I would say you're not an informed electorate. Therefore, you lose the ability to vote, which
that's right.
We'll say, which you can't. Obviously, look, you can't. And I'm just being silly about it. But no, democracy, ladies and gentlemen, is under assault. No. I'll
say it. I'll say it.
And I'm going to disagree with you.
A test to be able to vote.
If you go back to if you are originalist, and I am an originalist, and if you go back to the original Constitution, Ericka, and this is going to segue us into after hours.
Yeah.
Before we end this, where in the Constitution, what does the Constitution say? What rights in the Constitution are restricted only to citizens?
Yeah.
Don't answer that question. We're going to start after hours with that question. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know the answer, we're on Facebook Live. Let us know. What rights does the Constitution specifically limit to only citizens?
Good
Ericka,
question.
It's your ball.
Good question. Okay, you guys. So for those of you watching on the alternative or the not free speech platforms of Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, you got to join us over on Twitter or Rumble, where free speech avails.
It's a Rumble.
Much to Ketanji Brown Jackson's chagrin, we've still got free speech.
KBJ.
Ketanji Brown Jackson sucks. I am for real. Okay. Wait, Benjamin, are you taking us out? Are you taking us out of the no? Oh. 2.5 minutes. Oh, he's saying keep talking for 2 minutes. He's saying keep talking for 2 more minutes. Okay, here's the deal.
Well, so answer my question then. So what rights, I got my time wrong, folks. What rights are specifically limited by the U.S. Constitution to citizens and citizens only?
All of them. Spoiler alert.
Wrong. Wrong answer.
What?
Wrong.
What?
Okay, so let me give you a hint. Bigger than a bread box. There are only 2 rights as specifically enumerated by the U.S. Constitution in writing that said these rights are specifically limited to citizens. Only 2.
It's got to be voting.
Voting is 1.
And, well, I guess y'all are just going to have to join us over on the free speech platforms to learn the other one. All right. So, and speaking of, because real talk, y'all,
nice
they are pushing.
Right.
They are pushing.
Wait. And we're going to go to Second Amendment, folks. So if you're a gun person or you're, right to bear arms is important to you, stay tuned for After Hours, because this is relevant to Second Amendment rights. But the only 2 rights, Ericka, are right to vote and right for federal office, to run for federal office, be elected federal. Other than that, right, whether it's habeas corpus or other rights that are enumerated in the Constitution, it does not delineate these rights apply to citizens only.
That makes sense, because all the other rights are given to us by God. And the ones that you just mentioned are how we interact with our government.
With the government. Give that woman a cigar.
Hey.